Yo, it's your boy Radical. Now I'm bringing y'all another video. Um, so for the people who might not know, during the weekend, there was a mass shooting up in Tops in Buffalo, New York, by a white supremacist by the name of Payton Gendron. Went to Buffalo and started shooting up the place. Couple of first of all, let me give you guys everything that occurred. Couple of updates, right? So this white supremacist drove for 3 hours from the border of Pennsylvania all the way to Buffalo to find an all black community, right? This is what he's saying. He drove more than 200 miles just for this, right? But by the people who might not know, Buffalo is close to Canada, right? So he had he had a bunch of guns, and on those guns he had a bunch of white supremacist rhetoric written all over them, talking about this is your reparations here and stuff like that. He also had past mass shooters names written on the guns and stuff. He also had the number 14. For those who don't know, 14 is a white supremacist code word for basically protecting the white race, basically. You know what I'm saying? So he had all these all these crazy things on his gun. He even had the N word on it and all that. So he goes to the Tops and goes in and starts shooting up the place. He killed 10 people, injures 3, also a security guard, and ends up shooting him. But since he was so heavily armored, it didn't really do anything to him. It just basically made the security guard a target. That security guard basically got killed. But this is the other part of it. Payton was taken in alive. I wanna emphasize that real quick. He did all this shooting, but yet he was taken in alive, right? They also find a manifesto that he wrote that's 180 pages called "The Great Replacement." Right? It's a document that he wrote, before he did the shooting, and is the majority of it is pretty much copy and paste from the New Zealand shooter. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Payton looked up to the New Zealand shooter. He looked up to his actions, and the majority of his manifesto is pretty much a copy and paste of it, right? He also had white supremacist ties with a picture like right here. That symbol is a white supremacist symbol. I believe that's the rising sun. I believe that's the name. It's a white supremacist group, pretty much. It's pretty much a white supremacist group, and this group has already claimed some lives or whatever the case is. So now this is my thing about it. The Great Replacement. It's a theory. It's a conspiracy theory amongst white supremacist groups that the white numbers are dwindling and they have to do something to survive. Now, it's halfway true, but majority of it, it's just fiction, but it's halfway true. There are numbers of the white population has been dwindling. This is the reason why other non-white people get classified as white in order to statistically boost up these numbers, but in reality they're not white. So if we really want to tally the real world numbers of white people, it's probably very low, and it's getting lower than that. So obviously they're gonna be scared. But let's be completely honest, it has nothing to do with non-white people. We have no power in control with your birth rates. With white folks' birth rates, we have no control over. You know what I'm saying? We didn't make laws talking about you can't have more than one kid or whatever the case is. We didn't put abortion clinics up in your neighborhoods. All of y'all did that. You guys did that. And secondly, y'all women was the main ones thinking about sexual freedom and all this stuff. It's y'all that did this. The reason why a lot of white folks are dying off is because, one, the drug epidemic. Let's keep it 1,000. You know, the whole opioid epidemic and all that now is heroin and all that. White folks are the main ones using it. It's y'all that's doing that, not us. It's y'all that's doing that. We're not forcing y'all guys to do anything. It's y'all. So when it comes to those type of, things, that we gotta really look at it at a larger context. There's a lot of more white folks dying off than they're being born. Also socioeconomic status. It shows that a lot more wealthier people will have less kids than poorer people. So this is something also we have to, acknowledge. And once you start looking from a greater lens, you'll start seeing, oh, this is all BS. This got nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Now, part of this really raises my antennas because Joe Biden made a speech about this whole thing, giving condolences to the family and all this other stuff. And I have to call BS on this. This is why I have to call BS on. And please, let me speak. This is why I have to call BS on. Because Joe Biden was the first one up in New York when the Asian hate crimes was happening, all them videos was coming out and all that other stuff. Once a white boy went up in there to a spa and shot up the place, the first thing that happened was no Asian hate crime bill came out of it, right? So this Asian hate crime bill comes out of what ended up happening when the white supremacists were shot up and all that other stuff, right? That's what ended up happening. Also, there was a task force that came out of this. You know what I'm saying? There was also a 1-800 number that came out of this. So now this is where I'm coming from. When are black folks gonna get their no hate crime bill? Huh, Joe Biden? Is it because other groups, you rather give it to other groups than the real people that really need it? Let's keep it 1,000. Asian hate, I'm not trying to minimize or say which one gets more hate crime than the other, but my thing is, historically, black people have been targeted. Black people have been targeted historically, time and time and time again. And you mean to tell me there's no hate crime bill that's gonna come out of this? I'll call BS on that. And my question for the black community is, why y'all keep on voting for this dude? I'm just saying, why y'all keep voting for this guy? It's insane. I really do not get it. You feel me? I really don't get it. And the also, I want to point out to the FBA ADOS crowd, you're a bunch of hypocrites. And I'm not talking about all of them. I'm not trying to sweep one whole thing under the bus or whatever. I'm talking about the extreme form of them. The extreme form of FBA and ADOS. Y'all are a bunch of hypocrites. Y'all know why? Because you guys jump into the story and made a bunch of videos and comments talking about, look what white supremacist is doing. Look what white supremacist. This white supremacist did not care who he shot, if it was an immigrant or if it was an FBA. He did not care. But y'all jump into the story and say, this is what white supremacy does. We gotta stand together. No. What about all that anti-blackness that y'all were talking about immigrants from? Huh? But when a white supremacist comes in and says, yeah, I could care less if y'all a bunch of immigrants, y'all all getting a bullet, that's when y'all switch up. You know what I'm saying? That's a bunch of hypocrisy. I'm seeing a bunch of these FBAs, ADOS people jumping into the story, but yet last week they were talking about a bunch of African immigrants eating dirt. So let's keep it 1,000. Which one is it? You know what I'm saying? You can't have both. You cannot have both. You cannot just say I'm pro-black, blah, 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 when a white supremacist shoots the whole hood up, but then in the same time say, well, a bunch of African immigrants, listen, those African immigrants who go against the black folks do not represent the whole community, so relax. There's no reason to be pointing that out. The whole point of FBA and ADOS was to get reparations. What does that have to do with going against immigrants? Nothing. Literally nothing. It's pointless. You know what I'm saying? It's literally pointless because these immigrants who are in power or in office are going to look at ADOS or FBA as a hate group and be like, nah, F y'all. Why should we give y'all reparations? No, screw y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should switch up your tactics. So which one is it? That's what I really want to talk about and really point out, because it seems a little crazy how the black community isn't a protected class. That's my point. My point right here is this proves the black community should be a protected class, and it's not. And the reason why I believe it's not is because of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? And white supremacy affects us all. With that being said, I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.